just wanted to compete at the highest level. That's it.
Beautifully done. Huge first opening headshot. Now the hit through mid, but Mel is holding on!
With that Hunter, Shiri unfortunately not going to be able to do that now. Mel, nice upgrade from Bucky. Oh my goodness, Mel!
2 more players to go. Has a good sense as to where they are. That is so insane.
Man, oh man, the team that Mel has led looks so good.
Mel is a Valorant superstar. Cloud9 White decimated the competition in North America, but they were about to face their greatest challenge yet.
It's rather from Shopify Rebellion, holding it down against 3 of Cloud9. Things are looking good for Shopify Rebellion with that Vandal to tap onto the spike, but unfortunately it's not paying off. Mel stuck with an operator, picked off by Sonder. Everything lays down on this. That's gotta be it!
I was thinking, like, after I died, I was like, wait, I can't believe this is happening.
Shopify Rebellion eliminate Cloud9 White!
After that, it was like when you're at your lowest point, you were open to the greatest change.
The death of Game Changers' first dynasty was a hard blow for Mel, but a true competitor always gets back up.
Can they get past the pit? Noya on the swing and Lace will fall. Oh, it's all on Thea now. Every single one of them crumble, and destiny is written by Shopify Rebellion.
Across from Mel, and the Seekers came out too, and Liquid were just holding towards the window, and Mel just lines up 2 kills right there. Here comes the Flutter from Shopify, the first blood of Fluorescent. That's 3 actually, but Rizera fights right back. 4 in the round. It's only up to 1 more. Fluorescent with the ace. Spike is down out the open. Fluorescent gets the kill. Shopify Rebellion are your Game Changers champions.
Look at what it means to Mel.
I think we were just trying our absolute hardest every day because our goal was never, ever just win Game Changers.
Melanie Mel Capone always loved Counter-Strike, but she didn't think she'd ever be able to go pro.
Even in Counter-Strike, I definitely could see the stigma in the game just about women playing video games. I had been playing multiplayer games since I was like 8 years old. I was kind of like, I'm not sure if the word used to it is the word, because you never really like get used to it.
She spent a chunk of her teenage years as an observer for Tier 2 CS tournaments, learning the ins and outs of what makes an FPS tick. But Mel was a competitor by nature. While all she could do in CS was watch from the sidelines, another game was about to give her a chance to finally chase her dreams.
Riot had such a huge success with League of Legends that it was going to be like a huge game. Like no matter what was gonna happen, like there was gonna be opportunities no matter what.
Valorant was the beginning of something new, a chance for new players to jump into something with endless potential. A diverse cast of agents and an anime aesthetic felt more welcoming than CS's more realistic approach to TAC FPS.
A lot of the agent cast is made up of women, so compared to CS, it's like you're all just playing as like SWAT team guys. It's like very more of like a realism aspect, which I'm definitely not hating on. Like CS has a very special place in my heart. I'm not gonna sit here and hate on Counter-Strike at all.
But Valorant wasn't just a fresh start for new TAC FPS players. It was also a fresh start for Mel. She finally felt like she could go after her competitive dreams. And so Team Magical was born.
This is like literally just me putting in together a women's team, and the whole goal, and this is still actually my goal today, is I just wanted to compete at the highest level.
Mel competed in smaller open tournaments with Magical before hitting it big at FTW Summer Showdown.
As they switched sides, MAJKL took note of that unwavering defense and made it their own. MAJKL found their rhythm and brought the game back to win it all 13-11, crowning them the FTW Summer Showdown champion.
And that Summer Showdown win changed everything.
Today we are excited to reveal the VCT Game Changers program. This is an initiative designed to provide experience and a spotlight to elevate the women in the Valorant competitive community.
It blew up. We were getting like wait lists for like 64 teams, not on the wait list, but like 64 teams total past the registration cap, and people were really excited about it.
Team Magical's victory at the Summer Showdown earned them a sponsorship heading into the inaugural season of Game Changers, Riot's league for women and marginalized genders.
We busted our asses, we played in a lot of co-ed events, and then we played in FTW Summer Showdown, and then we won. So that was like the beginning of Cloud9 White.
And with Mel at the helm, the newly minted Cloud9 White dominated.
Kill cut down to 18 HP, the kills are traded right back, dropping from heaven. We find ourselves in a 2v2, making a 2v1. Diana's done it before. Can she do it again? It's against the rifles. Instead, it's Mel to push Cloud9 ahead 8-7 here.
Oh my goodness.
No. That's one.
Oh.
Second as well. Boom. One man advantage now for C9. You have Alexis in the middle of sight. Super low in HP. KP just can't get the shot, and Mel gets it again.
C9 White weren't just the best team in Game Changers, they ran circles around every other team. Whether they were facing young competitors or TAC FPS veterans, C9 were simply better than literally everyone else.
How does that pay off? And it's actually a half buy that they had, but Naomi tries to stay alive. It doesn't work out. The defuse is going to come out for Cloud9, and they are the women's champion of the VCT Game Changers.
There's the dash. Claudia wants to get close with this judge. Is she able to get it happening? No, Katsumi denies, but Chobo's back in it again with the Spectre. Alexis is waiting, lying in wait, but Chobo able to get it onto Alexis, but there it is. Won't be successful. Up to KP once again. 1 versus 2 to keep them and their chances alive, but it's not. Their chances are gone, and once again, Cloud9 White are your Game Changers champions.
C9 White kept the streak alive the next year, sweeping Series 1 and 2 completely undefeated, and winning Series 3 with only 2 map losses. Mel was building a dynasty. Through hard work, practice, and incredible play, C9 White simply looked untouchable.
We were practicing more than anybody. I think we were just trying our absolute hardest every day, because our goal was never ever just win Game Changers. It was always to compete in tier 2, tier 1, hopefully like on the international stage one day. I think that mindset is really what separated us from the rest, because like a lot of other teams weren't doing that at the time.
With an incredible 2 seasons behind them, just 3 lost maps in 2 years of official Game Changers play, it seemed like the first GC World Championship in 2022 was going to be free for C9 White.
Cloud9 are ones that have broken through in terms of competing in some of the co-ed tournaments, or even trying to get through the VCT circuit and actually placing pretty well in some of those, beating notable kind of tier 2 teams. They're purely scrimming against male teams from the VCT circuit, be that tier 1, tier 2 level.
But with expectations set sky high in a shocking twist, C9 White's immaculate run was about to come to a screeching halt. VCT Game Changers Berlin was the first ever international LAN for GC players, and it featured the best teams from North and South America, Europe, and Asia. And yet, none of those other teams seemed to hold a candle to C9 White.
Alexis is stuck around, right out of the air. Mel's there too, and it is a shot down and a shot out. You've even got the ult coming as well. Jazzy Kins with a double. Mel, gonna be on guard duty. 7-0 so far. Spots 1, takes 1. That's going to be based down. Bob going to take over the next bit of pressure here. Spots out more, and he's got the support. Doesn't need it. It's just farming out here. Cloud9 White.
Actually, now with the null command coming through, almost going to anticipate this, but Alexis just swings out, finds it, finds all 3. 4 on the round for Alexis. C9 White close out ascent.
But Mel's fortunes were about to unravel. G2 Gozen dominated the European Game Changer scene in much the same way C9 White did in NA, but competition was tighter. G2 had been sharpened by their experiences and faced more losses. So when the 2 teams clashed in what some predicted would be the match that would decide the tournament winner, G2 were merciless.
So they bait out the gravity well. Petra goes for the kill. Unlike for Jazikid to lose that duel, but it's looking really good for G2 to be able to win this round, and they will do so. Even a Preller towards the back. And Katsumi's just trying to dance around this wall. It's broken left and right. Now the wall comes up on defense. Juliana fights towards the back halls. Mimi and Glance just go to work. Somehow this is looking for G2 for a clean defuse. There's only 10 seconds left, and a dimensional drift on top of that to get all that information. Alexis Elise gets the kill onto Glance, but the push out, there's no time. Mimi comes out to get the last 2 kills, and G2 wins the series.
The loss sent Mel hurtling into the lower bracket, where C9 White had to face Shopify Rebellion, the only team that took maps off C9 in the regular season. And Shopify were ready to take more.
Mel on the top of the rafters, the res comes out. Mel jumps on the top, she's gonna get caught by KP on the left side. But no, this might be it. There's only 2 left, make that only Bob. A 2 versus versus 1 against KP and Flowerful. Flowerful on top of the A tower. Everything lays down on this. That's gotta be it! Shopify Rebellion eliminate Cloud9 White for the VCT Game Changers Championship.
Coming off 2 years of uninterrupted wins, 26 wins in a row to be exact, this one loss in Berlin proved fatal for GC's first dynasty.
It was a huge blow to like everyone's like confidence, to be honest. And the team, we just decided to go our separate ways after.
G2 Gozen, the team that sent C9 White down to the lower bracket to meet their doom against Shopify Rebellion, ended up winning the entire event. And a big part of G2's success lay with their youngest player, Mary.
And the readjust towards Dice. TP potentially taken. They did. Oh, the read from Mary! Try and send Hunter's Fury. Benita on the chopping block is Giuliano hunting her down once again, but she succeeds. And now it's all on 1K. P's gone! And G2, a lifetime of greatness, forged in finals like this.
You know, I couldn't wrap my head around it 2 years' time right now. Like, I still can't wrap my head around the fact that I won a championship at the age of 16.
With this new generation of players on her heels, Mel had to pick up the pieces after C9 White's demise, and fast.
After that, it was like when you're at your lowest point, you were open to do the greatest change. Using that lowest point that I was at to kind of reach for more and like build back from nothing, it meant a lot to me to have the opportunity to build back from there and be able to get past that. So now I look at it, it's like hardly a memory at this point.
Unsurprisingly, the existence of Game Changers can't change decades of stereotypes and the harm they've caused.
It's the fact that it is hard. Like when you are like a woman online, or you're like trans online, or you're non-binary online, like the f***ing scum's gonna come out the gutters, frankly, and just find every way to like hate on you, whether it's like tweeting at you or like going in your chat and like messing with you and stuff like that.
Years of certain parts of the community looking down on women who play games has made it almost impossible for anything other than a men's esports league to get funding and recognition.
We have 2 organizations in North America. We have Shopify Rebellion and FlyQuest Red, and that is it. We have free agent organizations, and those don't really count because they can't provide their teams with salaries right now.
So despite playing in an intentionally inclusive environment like Game Changers, with all the pressure put on women and non-binary players to prove that they were as good and valuable as their male counterparts, even for a proven world-class player like Mel, one failure had the potential to literally end her career. Right after the loss, Cloud9 dropped Mel and the rest of C9 White. And this probably goes without saying, but success in Game Changers is even harder for unsponsored teams.
They are expected to somehow beat the paid professional teams that get paid to play like 8 to 12 hours a day when someone has to check in for their shift at the gas station and then hop on for practice.
After being the brightest star of Game Changers for so long, Mel was now facing a very uncertain future. A future where she might have been forced to hang up the mouse for good.
Oh, nice try. Tough round. Guess we save here?
Why would we save? Let's just send it.
But if you don't save, you might not have what you need when you need it.
What are you, my mom?
No, I just
You know what this
think
team needs?
that...
Less talk and more action. I'm going in.
Wait, I don't think that's a good idea. Listen, babes, saving is not that complicated, but with Cash App, it is even easier. If you direct deposit $300 or more in paychecks each month, you unlock $50 of free overdraft coverage, because you never know when that extra cash will come in handy.
All right, that one was totally my bad, guys. I'm sorry, I've learned my lesson. Can someone buy for me, though?
Sure, here you go. See, aren't you glad I didn't spend my...
I'm rushing A.
Are you serious?
Ah, this team sucks!
You really walked into that one, Liz.
C9 White's dissolution stunned the Game Changers world, but Mel refused to go down without a fight. She and her teammate Alexis were able to keep the dream alive and join version 1.
My manager had already built the team essentially, and we were just like kind of sliding in after like nobody was expecting Cloud9 White to like die pretty much. So it was like a perfect time, like perfect fit kind of situation.
But instead of just striving to live up to their old legacy, V1 began building a new one.
On the swing, on the pop. That was ambitious. Sarah's nade should hit its mark. The dat doesn't, the gun will. Sarah with 3 on the round as version 1 get to 10. Now the push coming out too short. The cover divides invested, but they're already ahead of it. Floor and Sarah get 2. KP and Floor left alone, and of course it's Floor. For the 3rd time this year, version 1 are grand finals bound. They've gotten out onto the site. They still have some control, but Sarah and Alexis have not moved. They lost back site. Raze is causing serious problems out here, but it's just not enough. As you see all of that utility dump.
Blocking vision.
Complexity, what a run on the tournament, but it's just not enough. The 2v2 now, there's the Akata Starbound. Noya by herself, trying to get them both and not able to get the second. Keensey once again.
C9 White raised the bar in Game Changers, and now V1 was doing it again. They performed at a level that left zero doubt about their ability to take on anyone the GC circuit threw at them. So when V1 was absorbed by G2 at the end of 2023, another org was already waiting in the wings to swoop in and give V1's roster a new banner to rep. In a controversial move, Shopify dropped their roster to acquire Mel and the rest of V1.
But it's definitely like a full circle moment, having like played against this org a billion times to now playing for this org and like wreaking havoc on everyone else.
Shopify were just as untouchable as V1 were, kicking things off with a long-denied Game Changers Championship victory in 2023, despite the fact that IGL Mel was isolated from her team with COVID.
Only 2 kills away needed here for Shopify Rebellion, closing the gap, Psyche in the back, doing whatever she can, but she cannot. It's up to Dugina, who has clutched it before. Spike is down out the open, Fluorescent gets the kill, the Rebels resist the push from the Dark Horse, and Shopify Rebellion are your Game Changers champions!
The trust that my teammates have put into me, it means everything. It's all I wanted. As an IGL, it means everything to have your teammates back you up.
For grand finals, I obviously had COVID, so I had to like play from a room. And then after we win, I'm just kind of sitting there silently and just like waiting to be like taxied off back to the hotel room where I have to sit there for like a week. But like besides that, like winning it and kind of overcoming, you know, me and Lexi's demon of like getting 4th at the last international and like choking, especially with how much adversity and challenge was thrown our way with me getting COVID on like the absolute worst day to get COVID. It has a special place in my heart.
Shopify has gone on to win Series 1 and 2 in 2024. But as the new talent Mel inspired rise up, close matches have become the norm, not the exception.
I would love to see a stat of how many times SR wins the round when they're up 4v5.
Oh, Floor aggressive, dashing forward. They have false Starbound's on the trade. Oh my goodness, that was disgusting.
Noya is just swinging. It's not winnable, Doug.
No, delaying the inevitable
Lucky
here.
gang.
As the Spunky continues to tick away, that's all it'll be. Raises right by hand. Floor on the swing, and there it goes. Floor active and online.
The bomb is so far away.
Starbound on the swing. The shots will settle onto Sarah, but again, the numbers advantage that you have there allows for situations like that, allows for the trades, and allows Shopify to get to 10. How do they get past this pit? Can they get past the pit? Noya on the swing, and Lace will fall. Oh, it's all on to Thea now. Every single one of them crumble. FlyQuest push them, sure, but dread it, run from it. Destiny still arrives, and destiny is written by Shopify Rebellion.
Mel has been a momentous presence for her teams throughout her career, but perhaps even more importantly, her team's immense successes in Game Changers were able to bring women and non-binary competitors to the forefront of public consciousness.
You ask someone who their favorite Game Changers player is, they're probably going to have an answer. That isn't just amongst female fans, that's really amongst anyone. I think that's so cool that like people talk about these players with a similar level of exaltation to how they talk about some of their favorite male players.
And Mel isn't the only exceptional player on her team. Just like G2 Gozen had Mary, Shopify Rebellion have their very own prodigy, one of the most amazing Valorant competitors that plays today, Fluorescent.
Also moving forward, and they may now figure out that Mel is sniping. Oh my goodness, I think we were all looking for maybe a triple collapse. It was nearly a full stack up. Floor will make good on it though. Nice blast pack in the classic. Woo, schmovin'.
But even with this level of talent at play and all the great strides made towards inclusivity, GC remains a contentious league for some.
A lot of those male-dominated teams don't want to scrim the Game Changers teams outside of, you know, the Cloud9 Whites, the Shopify Rebellions, the version 1s. they don't scrim them because they don't think it's good practice.
After its arguably most successful season in 2022-2023, Game Changers, specifically in North America, saw a sharp drop-off in sponsorships for teams. Between a high-profile cheating scandal, blackmail allegations, identity verification system oversights, and an overall slowdown of investment into esports, it felt like you could point in any direction and find a reason for the so-called death of Game Changers. But no matter the reason, Game Changers' continued existence asks a more pressing question. Is Game Changers a standalone league that will exist forever? Or is it a launchpad for players to make their VCT debuts? Mel has always wanted to move on to the VCT, just like many of her fellow contenders, but it's yet to happen even for the players at the very top of the GC pyramid.
There's obviously the fear of one, failure, which is something that every competitor, grapples with, but also two, the fear of the feedback from the community, like the hate from the community if you do fail, because a lot of people are preying on your downfall if you are a woman or marginalized gender playing in a co-ed event. Like, that's just the reality of it. I know that my team is always excited to reach the next boundary and get to the next step and gets the next phase of our team. I imagine that there's probably so many competitors that feel the same way.
Now, this isn't to say Game Changers should stop existing. In fact, it's probably more important than ever that it continues to exist for the foreseeable future. And that future lies with the players. Players like Mel, who come up through Game Changers and in turn inspire the future generation of competitors to follow in their footsteps.
Both players. 1v1. I have dart back up.
Will she take the walk here? I can't believe she hasn't used that dart yet.
Mel on the swing, she whips it.
Oh, that's our ace. That's our ace. Force, let go.
With the right resources in place, with a true shift in the public perception of who is allowed to play games, and most importantly, with enough support and acceptance from the rest of the esports world, hopefully, there will soon come a day when we don't need Game Changers anymore. That day is likely very far off for most GC players, but that hasn't stopped Mel from being an absolute beast in the server. She has built a career both because of Game Changers and despite its limitations.
I think GC not existing in the future is genuinely the goal. We will live in a world one day where it's not abnormal to see marginalized genders playing at a high level, and that it no one bats an eye when women's playing in tier 1 or someone that's non-binary playing in tier 1. I think that'll be the end goal, and I think once that end goal is reached, I don't think there will be there's no reason for Game Changers to exist at that point.
Mel is a trailblazer, an inspiration for the next generation, and an incredible competitor who has founded 2 GC dynasties. But Mel knows there is so much more out there than what she has already achieved. Mel knows there is a world beyond Game Changers, and she's ready for the next chapter.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring the notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit us up on our X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.